This is your all-new 2021 Toyota Venza. Even says Venza on the key fob. Pretty impressive. Back after a 5-year hiatus, it is not the same Venza that you recall. It's hybrid only. It looks absolutely gorgeous, and I'm surprised this isn't a Lexus. It's so elegant and beautiful. Like, look at the front end. It's so clean. The LED headlights, the LED day runners, LED turn signals. And I love that the turn signals mirror exactly what the day runners are all the way through and through. It just looks so sharp. And as a comparison point, here's what the passenger side looks like just with the day runners, and obviously those are your regular headlights, but just it's such a clean and elegant look. Telling you that T should be an L. Anyways, front end looks gorgeous. Nice simple design lines. There's just two of them going all the way up, and it meets where the A pillar does and just keeps flowing upwards. It looks so sharp. I'm very, very impressed with it. Front quarter look, it's clean. Again, I keep saying clean and elegant, but those are the best words to describe it. There's no excess in folds and bends in the sheet metal and in the body. I'll give you a good side profile look, because that's where it really shines for me. Yes, it's on the same platform as the RAV4 hybrid, but definitely different. I love how the top just kind of tapers down, and just there's that little light bar just to the back. We'll get to that in a sec. Just wanted to give you a quick look there. Just, it's so nice. Along with the spoiler, just creates a really nice set of body lines to it. Rims are a little much for me. I would rather them be a little more on the simple side, but hey, that's just me. This is the Blueprint color, called Blueprint for accordingly, and there is the hybrid badging, and it's such a sharp looking vehicle. And there is your turn signal, which is again LED integrated into the side mirror. As we keep going around the vehicle, we'll take a look at the rear and give you a rear quarter look along the way. It just has that nice kind of just flow to it going from the front end, and just again tapers off right at the rear. It just looks really, really sharp. So I love the light bar, and I alluded to that maybe 20-30 seconds ago. It just has that nice upscale look to it. There's nothing hanging down at the bottom. And yes, your turn signals and reverse lights are just there in your bumper, but I like that just the actual trunk lid itself has that nice clean look to it. And it's very simple, but I don't think Toyota needed to go do anything, I guess, really outlandish with it. So I really, really like that. Twin tailpipes right there. Let's take a look in the trunk. One touch button, or you could swing your foot underneath on this top trim limited. So we'll get into cargo figures now. We'll go more into it in the drive portion, but there is more cargo in the RAV4, which is a smaller vehicle than this. And the simple reasoning is because I was talking about how it tapered downwards, and you can't really see it all that well now, but just rewind the video about 30 seconds. So it angles down, so that compromises some of the space up top, and the floor for the cargo area is also higher. So you're brought down that way and you're brought up this way, and that's how you have less storage by the actual figures. You do get a spare tire in here, and the really cool move here from Toyota, what I like, is your retractable cargo cover, which gets slotted in there, and there has a nice storage place right underneath, so you don't have to have it floating around or just be out and in the way. This does have the upgraded JBL audio system, which sounds terrific and loud and boomy. We'll get into more of that on the drive portion itself. And a quick perk here is you can actually lock the trunk, not just close it. So I will just give it a close because I'm getting back into the vehicle. Yeah, exterior Toyota Venza, full marks. Starting with the rear seats of the all-new Venza. Pretty good amount of leg space back here. I sit all the way back, as you know, and if my evil twin brother Ray Canna showed up and had the same body dimensions as me, you can see there's an ample amount of leg space for him. So, no heated seats back here. A bit of a miss, I think, but you do get two USB ports there. You can't really see them, but I promise you they are right there. And seats aren't too bad. It's a Softex material, so relatively comfortable. Seats go down fairly quickly, just one of those, and down it goes. And it's almost a flat folding seat. You can see it angles up just a touch, but for the most part, it's almost flat, which means you can do a lot more with it. I don't mind the wood trim. I don't love it, but you'll see when we get up front, it actually suits the Venza quite nicely. So close that up and take a look up front. The door doesn't do the wood trim justice. It really doesn't. But I do like the two tones here. the dark and the light, both soft touch materials. Obviously the wood's gonna be hard, but you do have 2 memory seats. Again, this is the top trim limited, so it's got everything possible in there. Cool speaker design here from JBL, and yes, I'm a fan of Canada Dry Ginger Ale. And a really awesome thing here, not only does it say Venza on the scuff plate right there, I'll try and get a shot of this before I return the vehicle, but at night there's a projector that comes out of here and it actually projects the word Venza. And that's, again, this should have been a Lexus. That's something you don't see on very many non-luxury vehicles. I love it. I think this is a fantastic vehicle, aesthetically alone. Wait till we get to the driving portion of it. All right, start with the seats. Again, Softex side bolsters, not too bad, but the side bolsters do tremendously well. Keeps you in place, and as well, very, very comfortable. And it's got a cool design line kind of just flowing all the way throughout it. Really, really nice. I like what Toyota has done with the seats. Just really, really beautiful. There's a quick look at what you would see if you are about a foot away from getting into the vehicle. And let's do that right now. So we'll try and be quick with this. So I don't like this. I don't like how the stop start button is by the parking brake and the auto brake hold and the wireless charger. It's just a very high traffic area, and just I don't want one of my passengers to accidentally tap the button by accident when I'm doing like 100 kilometers per hour on the highway. Strangely, the trip reset, let me get that in focus here. Come on, one job to do, camera, focus. So the trip reset's there. I think that's such a peculiar place for it. I want the start stop button to be out of the way. I don't want it to be touched by anybody by accident. So that's one of my irks. Another irk is, this is way too long. So I'm sitting as I would, and the camera's right by my face. All you could see are 1 and 2 buttons. That's it. So you either turn the wheel like that to get access to, or visual access to it, or you got to crane all the way around. Now, to me, this doesn't make any sense. This should have been all the way over here. You hardly ever touch that. That should have been all the way over there, because once your auto high beam is around, you just leave them and that's it. You will rarely put your traction control off. So basically it's backwards. The trunk release should have been here because that gets used most often. Second by the heated steering wheel and the electronic windshield defroster, and then the view for the camera. I think Toyota got it wrong with this one. Either that or they should have stacked it on top of each other. That would have made a lot more sense. And there's your little gas door down there. All right, let's keep going, moving up. So you have your big screen in the middle. The base model LE gets a smaller screen. I think it's 4.2 inches and this is 7. Did analog dials on the outside. Nice. It's starting to get a little darker, as you can see. And that's why things are showing up a little more pronounced as it would have been a couple of hours ago. I like what Toyota's done with their dashboards. It's so clean. It looks like it's a lot of information. I'll give you that. It looks like it, but after a week of driving it, it really isn't, right? You kind of scroll through, and I was on the busiest screen, which is the fuel consumption screen, sorry. And part of it's the design. Like there's a bunch of dots back there. There's a bunch of green lines over here, and the temperature, and it's now below 3 degrees. So there's a little snow sign and trip B and distance. There's a lot of stuff happening, but when you strip away all the design elements, it really is pretty simple. You get a heads-up display, and it's 10 inches, and now it's in focus, and it's really, really handy, and I'm really starting to like heads-up displays a lot more than I used to. So good job, Toyota, on that, and kind of keeping eyes on the road. All right, I'm gonna get to my big irk, the biggest irk for me. It's this, it's on the XLE and the LE. There are no dials, and there are no hard touch buttons, and when you're blindly like kind of pushing, like I want, right now I'm in high. Sorry about that. I'm on high, right? So let's just pretend I'm driving and I'm kind of just having my eyes straight ahead. Out of the corner of my eye, I want to hit temperature going down, and maybe I hit downwards like that, and maybe I hit upwards like that. But point is, it should have been a dial. It should have been a lever. It should have been a toggle switch. It should have been something. Same with the thing with the volume. Again, if it's a bit of a distraction. You'll get used to it if you have the car longer than a week like I do, but it's a lot of precision, and I really hope that the next year or the next couple of years, Toyota does away with most of this and replaces it with at least hard touch buttons for the temperature up or down, and the volume. I don't care about the fan buttons being up and down. Same thing with the rear defroster on the front. Doesn't matter about that. Doesn't matter about any of these. But the things you use most often should be the easiest to use. And that's all I'm going to say about that. All right, gear shift is here, nice and easy. Pop it over to the left to get sport mode, up and down. Nothing extraordinary here. And if you look here, this is what I'm talking about it, the wood trim really fitting in nicely. It's that nice kind of tunnel that goes in here underneath or just in front of the shifter. And it looks really sharp, and it just, again, I'm not really a big fan of wood finishes, but the way Toyota's done this, it looks really sharp and just blends in nicely with the vehicle. Quick look in there, there are USBs, and that's your wireless charging pad there. Couple of cup holders. Here's a bit of an overly designed thing for me. This is as far as the armrest goes forwards and backwards. Yes, it will hide your heated seats and cooled seats, which is nice, but like, I don't know. I would have rather it just been fixed. I don't really know, you know, what the difference of like, what is that, like a ½ inch would do, but yeah, it's a cool feature to have, very luxury car feature, but I think it's a little overdone. Let's get to an awesome perk, which is the sunroof. And you're like, hey, Jay, it's not cloudy outside. Like, why can't I see? You push this button up here, just to the right of the emergency button, and take a look. It's Toyota's frosted glass, and it is so cool. Yes, there's still a hard cover. I'll get that moving right now for you. But if you want the open air, but you don't want all the sun, it's getting a little hot, just push this one button, and instant frosted glass. It's awesome. It's such a cool technology. Full marks. Again, very luxury car-esque. Not something I'd expect in a Toyota. But here we are in December of 2020. As far as the rest of the interior goes, there's that nice little design line here, nice dark stitching to contrast against the grays. And it's a really comfortable place. Seats are really, really nice. I'll get to more of that on the drive portion. All right, speaking of the drive portion, oh, sorry, one other quick thing. This massive screen comes with higher end models. Like there's the LE, XLE, and Limited. This is a little low res for me. Yeah, it's 2021. I just feel it should be a little higher. And to get the direction of your air, just to go back down here, the climate controls are here, so you have to touch that to change the direction of your air. There's no option to do it here. Yes, you can change your temperature here. You can change your temperature there. It's just a little much as far as the touches go. I'm gonna bring that down. It's getting a little loud. Yeah, like it's a cool system. I like that it's a landscape as opposed to what Volvo has. But yeah, it's too much on the touchscreen. Not enough. Actually, there's no hard touch buttons. I'll back up. None. Yeah, a little weird for me. But anyways, you'll get used to it. The learning curve is a bit steep, but definitely manageable. Let's do the drive in the all-new 2021 Toyota Venza, which is hybrid only and back after a 5-year absence. So under the hood, as far as the combustion engine goes, it's a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, which runs through a CVT, and it's 176 horsepower and 163 pound-feet of torque. You pair the electric motors with that, and horsepower now bumps up to 219. So the Venza has plenty of power. Now, it's not lightning fast by any means, but it's not designed to be lightning fast. This is your daily driving, fuel sipping, looking beautiful vehicle. And it's kind of going, weirdly, I think it's going up against the RAV4, not intentionally, but if you're in a Toyota dealership and you're looking for a hybrid and you want a crossover, if it was me, my eyes would be drawn to this and the RAV4. If I want something upscale, I'm definitely going Venza all the way. As I had mentioned plenty of times before throughout this review, the look and the appearances and the fit and finish of this, it should have been a Lexus. Should have absolutely been a Lexus. But let's leave that for now, get back to the driving side of things. So, good amount of pickup. Again, not lightning fast, but there's power there when you need it. And there's no issues getting on highways or avoiding collision situations. Either you stomp down really hard to get that big jump in there, or you just flip drive modes and get a little more out of the engine. Now this is all-wheel drive, but it can be split up to 80% for the rear wheels, and that's primarily when you're coming from a stop, which is what I'm at now because nothing's moving in the side window, and then you start accelerating and then you get going, and that's where you can get your up to 80% split with that. Otherwise, as far as your regular daily driving, which is what I've done, I haven't done anything crazy or outlandish or long trips with this. It's great around the city, and with just the right amount of pressure with your right foot, you can keep your gas needle frozen for quite a while and run off electric power. Regarding the 3 motors that I had mentioned, one of them is a dual motor under the hood. I know this isn't the hood, but I'm just pointing that way. That's where the hood is. There's one powering the wheels, and the third one generates electricity. So that's how Toyota has done the setup for this, and it works. It works because it's not really all that intrusive, and the battery pack is in the rear. It's under the rear seat, sorry. And I know I'd mentioned in the exterior portion near the end that there's less cargo space in here than there is in the RAV4, even though they're on the same platform, and it's got the same wheelbase. But again, it's the sloping roofline and the raised cargo floor of the Venza that produce the smaller numbers. Regarding driving dynamics itself, the cornering and the handling are pretty well done. The Venza is lower than the RAV4, and that contributes to me just having a more connected feel to the road. And it's not a lot lower than the RAV4, but just for all the vehicles that I've driven, I found the lower that I am, the more connected and engaged with the road I am, and the better the driving experience. So that's another reason why I'd pick the Venza. The cool frosted glass up top, way to go, Toyota. Definitely innovative. On the safety side of things, Toyota's Safety Sense 2.0 is in here. Lots of standard safety features, and Limited has just a few more bells and whistles. I'll put a list of those on the screen for you to take a look at. But, you know, broken record again, more standard safety and more new vehicles is what is absolutely needed to keep not only myself safe, but other drivers, pedestrians, and cyclists. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate the support. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to find some light to wrap this up with. There we go. There's some light. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate the support. And again, feel free to subscribe or tell somebody about the channel who you think might enjoy new car reviews and my bad jokes. Anyways, I'll be back sooner than later with my next car review. Be well, be healthy, be safe.